Hi and welcome to this knit and chat with me. My name is Nina and I'm coming to you from southern Sweden in Småland. Yeah, so this is a little bit different from a normal episode because I thought I would do a knit and chat today with you. I've never done that before, but I have seen it at a podcast and I really enjoy it, so I thought why not try it as well. And you have asked me some questions, so I thought I would answer some of them during our chat. And yeah, so I can tell you what I'm knitting on. I'm knitting on the Fable sweater by Ronja Hakkaletto. She is a Finnish designer, and she designed this pattern for Järbo. Järbo is a Swedish company, and 2 years ago I think they launched a big collaboration with different Nordic designers and made several booklets. I think they have published, I don't know how many booklets, 6 maybe, with different patterns for children as well, for adults, for accessories, and yeah, and this is from last winter, I think, this pattern. I can show you. It looks, this is beautiful cable sweater, and it was in they have always different themes for the booklets. So the last winter was like fairy tales, and this is the Fable sweater by her, really beautiful, and I'm knitting it in Järbo's new yarn, or new, they launched it last year I think. It's a Swedish wool yarn, that's their first Swedish wool yarn. They have a lot of different yarns but not with Swedish wool, so I thought that it was really nice that I we're thinking a little bit more sustainable looking what we have here at home, because we have great wools, great sheep breeds here as well. And this wool, this yarn is really nice. It's quite rustic. It's an iron weight yarn, but yeah, I'm not sensitive, so I really like it, and it has a nice sheen to it. I could imagine there's maybe some white Gotland in it, maybe, or some long-haired sheep breed anyway, mixed with some different others. I could imagine that it is a mix, because it doesn't say on the label, it just says Swedish wool. But yes, I really like this so far. It's really fun to knit this cable, and it's knitted from the bottom up. So I think I will start knitting the sleeves soon, because I want it to be a little bit cropped, not as long as it says in the pattern. And yeah, you should really check Järbo's pattern collections out. They're all on Ravelry and all in English, I think, as well. All the patterns, really beautiful, many beautiful patterns from many beautiful designers, Nordic designers. And when I started with this sweater, I had the idea to start Nordic design knit along. I posted about it on Instagram, but I wanted to mention it here as well if you are interested to join me. There's a couple of people already joined on this knit along, and yeah, he basically knit something from our Nordic designer, or a Nordic design. That can be a sweater, a shawl, socks, whatever. And yeah, the Nordic countries, if you don't know the Nordic, what is included is Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland. Then we have Greenland, Iceland, the Faroe Isles I also included, I think. And yeah, I think that was all Nordic countries. So quite many you can choose from. And yeah, that, as I said, this is from Ronja Hakkaletto. And actually wearing a design from her as well today. I didn't realize that when I started recording and I put it on, but this is the Vuono sweater by Ronja Hakalato. It's pretty simple on the body, but has this beautiful textured sleeves. And I test knitted this for her a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago now. Really beautiful design, I can recommend it. And I knitted this in Brooklyn tweed, I think. Yes, in this beautiful colorway storm cloud. I think it has this beautiful specks of blue, and you can't really say what color this is. If it is gray or brown, or yeah, it has all the colors in it. Some gray, some brown, some blue, some white as well. Really pretty. Yes, so yeah, if you want to join, you're very welcome. I also casted on a pair of slippers from the same booklet that there's this pattern in. It's the Polarstjärna slippers. Ronja makes beautiful slipper patterns as well. That is a really quick knit. I have the first one finished and I've forgotten it now. I can go and fetch it so you can see how it looks. So this is the finished one. I'm knitting it in this really thick sock yarn, and it was a really quick knit. I think I knitted it in an evening or so. Really cozy, beautiful pattern. It's a really cool construction. You start at the toe and then you increase. And I've never done this kind of increase before. It's done with I usually do I make one left or make one right when I knit toe up socks, but this one you knit it in the front and then in the back loop of the first stitch, and it gives this really beautiful edge. I really like it. Really fun knit, and it will keep my feet warm. And I thought I made them quite big so I can have them over other knitted socks as well. So they won't, because I like to knit socks with with no plastic in, no nylon, so 100% wool, and they get holes pretty quick if you're not careful. So I thought a pair of slippers with normal sock yarn over my socks could be great. Yeah, so that is that. So if you want to join the knit along, I haven't thought about starting a Ravelry thread. My Ravelry group is quite silent right now. I'm not so active there. But if you would like to have it on Ravelry as well, just let me know, then I can start a thread there. And yeah, otherwise you can just use the hashtag Nordic design KAL on Instagram and share your progresses and share pictures. So that would be really fun if a lot of you want to join. And there's so much to choose from. Today I'm only wearing Nordic designs. I'm wearing the sweater, obviously, and then I'm also wearing the Sophie scarf by Petite Knit. My hair looks like this. I think it's really pretty in this beautiful red. I blended and mixed in one thread of silk mohair, and I really want to make more, maybe a bigger one as well. And yeah, I really like it. It was really quick to knit as well. So that is also a good suggestion if you have a bit of yarn left from, and then you can mix it with some silk mohair, or and then knit yourself this little scarf. Really fun, quick knit. Yes, but let's go on to, I will answer some of your questions. Let me see, I've written them down. What is your favorite season and why? Yeah, we can talk about that. My favorite season, I would say, is spring. I really love the spring, when life is coming back and everything is getting green. It's so beautiful here in Sweden. We have a lot of birches where we live here. It's one of my favorite trees, and when the birches are turning green, it is this beautiful light green hue everywhere, and it looks so beautiful. It makes my heart sing when the birches are turning green, and when I see the first flowers. And it's still a great season to wear knitwear. My knitting mojo hasn't disappeared yet. It always disappears in summer, and you can still wear knit sweaters outside and shawls, because it can be quite chilly here in Sweden in spring. And that is absolutely my favorite time of the year. But in the last couple of years, I also have appreciated and liked autumn more and more. And I didn't like autumn so much before when I was younger, because everything is getting darker and colder and wetter, and you don't know really what you can do. You can't be outside so much. But now I really enjoy that you don't have the pressure to be outside as much as in summertime, because you can just snuggle up with your knitting and some hot chocolate or some nice tea on the sofa and watch cozy movies and knit. Of course, I think it's the best season for knitting, autumn. And I always have the most knitting inspiration in autumn, because all my inspiration is rushing back to me after summer of not knitting, and I want to knit on everything. Right now I think I have like 10 projects on my needles, because I want to cast on everything, and I really do cast on everything. Maybe too much, but I find it easier to really knit on these things when I have casted them on, instead of just waiting and saying, oh, I wait until I have finished this one. So in this way I can knit on everything. Sometimes when I really want to knit on a lot in one day, I sometimes put my timer on 30 minutes and knit like for 30 minutes on a project, and then I switch. In that way I can I make progress on all the projects, because right now I really want to knit on all of them as well. I have a few that I'm not so excited about right now, and I think I will put them on hold and maybe knit on them in winter. But I really love all my projects right now, so that's a tiny problem, but it's really fun as well. So yes, that was the first thing. Next question is, can you tell a little bit about yourself for all the new ones here? Yes, of course. So I said my name already. My name is Nina. I'm living in Sweden with my partner and our little daughter. She's almost 3, and we are expecting our second child like in 4 weeks or so. I think today's Sunday. So in exactly 4 weeks is the due date. Really exciting. And I'm originally from Germany. You maybe can hear that a little bit. And me and my family moved to Sweden when I was 15 with all my siblings. I have 3 siblings, and with my mom and my dad, to a farm outside Vimmerby, near here, where we live right now. And yeah, went to school here in Sweden and grew up here in Sweden. And yeah, my sister, my twin sister, I have one twin sister, a little sister and a little brother. And my twin sister, my brother, and my parents, they all moved back to Germany 4 years ago. So right now it's only me and my little sister left here because we have Swedish boyfriends or partners. And my twin sister, she's married to a German guy. So yeah, it's harder for us, of course, just cut the band, say we go back to Germany. Actually, we moved back to Germany 3 years ago, when I was pregnant with Saga, because I wanted to be near my parents and my sister when giving birth and have their support. And we lived there for a year, and then we moved back to Sweden because it's not so easy to find a good spot to live in. It's really, really expensive, and there's so many people in Germany, and then Corona came, and it was difficult to drive around and look for something. So we decided to go back to Sweden, and I'm really happy with this decision right now. But I wouldn't say that we never will move back to Germany again, but right now I'm content here and happy, and so we'll see what the future brings. We have lived quite a nomadic life, me and Lucas. Before we got Saga, we moved around like every year or so in Sweden, and so yeah, now we actually moving again after baby is born before Christmas. Oh, so stressful. But yeah, it's time again to move, and I hope that we will find our space someday, but I'm not in a hurry. So yeah, that was that about me. What more can I say about me? I'm 29 years old. I like crafting and gardening, and yeah, that's what I do mainly. A lot of crafting, carving as well. Maybe you know my this side of me as well, if you have not followed me a while, that I am a carver as well, and yeah, I'm a knitwear designer, and I dye my own yarn, so that's what I'm doing. And yes, next question is how do you met your partner? Yeah, so 7 years ago. No wait, it was 8 years ago, because yeah, we come to that. 8 years ago I went to a folk high school in Sweden. We have them a lot, called Folk Högskola. There are schools you can attend to after graduating high school. So after you turned 18, it's free for everyone. And at these schools you can learn like everything from different crafts to dance to different music, photography. Yeah, a lot. There's almost everything, gardening in different places in Sweden, and it's for free. So you don't pay for the education, you just pay for living there and eating. So that's really great, and you don't graduate from a university. You just get a diploma after finishing your course. It's usually 1 year, sometimes half a year. They're also having shorter courses if you don't just want to try something out for a couple of months or weeks. And I went to Folkhögskola in Härjedalen, that is like in the middle of Sweden, but it's already in northern Sweden because it gets quite cold. And there I went course in traditional textiles. And that was, I think, when 1 year after high school or so. I think it was 23, 22. I don't remember. It has been so long. And yeah, and there I met Lucas. He went there as well, but we didn't get together the second year. After the first year, it was really a wonderful year. I learned everything from like shearing sheep to washing the wool, to spin the wool, to weave with the wool, with the yarn, knit, dye the yarn. Yeah, everything you can do basically with yarn and wool. And also how to grow flax and hemp, and how to make thread out of them, and how to weave with this material, and lots of other things as well. And then the second year, after the first year, I decided to go 1 more year, and the second year I went a course that was basically holistic agriculture and farming and living, so everything included. The course was built up around the farmer's year, like 100 years ago. So we learned everything a farmer would have known 100 years ago. How to milk a cow, how to make cheese, how to preserve foods, how to do lots of different crafts, like smithing, and also textile crafts, leather, tanning, and how to take care of different animals. I think we had sheep, horses, pigs, cows, chickens, and we made hay, and we there was so much. We were in the woods as well, foraging for mushrooms and berries, and cutting trees with axes. Oh, it was so much. It was fantastic, really an amazing year. I learned so much. Of course, you couldn't get in deeply in everything, but I have a basic knowledge of all these things now. I'm really grateful for. And there I met Lucas at the school. It was amazing. Bäckedals Folkhögskola is it called, and we actually had many students from different countries. So because they're really in Sweden, they're really great talking English. So it's no problem for students from other countries, if they can speak English, to attend one of these schools. We had one person from Scotland and one from Finland and Ireland, I think. So if you're interested, I can really recommend to go to a Swedish folkhögskola. The next question is, do twins run in your family? Yes, actually, because my grandma's mother had twins. That was during the war, and I don't think they survived infancy. I don't know really the backstory of that, but I know that she had twins. She had lots. My grandma had like 8 siblings, not those 2 not included. So many children, and that was during the war. My grandma's the youngest, and she was born 1950. So and she had twins. As I said, my grandma didn't have twins, but my mom had. So we'll see if Saga will have twins someday, or my twin sister, she has 2 girls, and my little sister has 1 girl, one on the way as well. So lots of girls in my family. So we'll see if one of us will become grandma to 2 twins. That would be really nice, really cool, I think. The next question we have here is, do you have your babies in the hospital or at home? So yes, Zara was born at home in Germany in my sister's house. We had a little apartment there, and she was born in a birthing pool, and it was so beautiful. It was the best experience in my life, I think, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing it again soon. And of course this baby will also be born at home. I've already booked the birthing pool, hopefully it will come this week, and a midwife will be there. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That is I could talk about this topic forever because I'm a doula as well, and this is really a important topic for me, giving birth. But I won't bore you out, or yeah, that's for another day. Where did you learn to carve, and what tools do you use? So I learned to carve at Waldorf school in Germany. We went to a Waldorf school there for 8 years before we came to Sweden. And at Waldorf school you learn a lot of different crafts from young age. I think we had wood carving and textile crafts from like second year, and then we had gardening as well later on. And what more? Yeah, I think that was the three main things, but we had also worked with clay and some other things. You do a lot of painting and so on. Yeah, so there I learned how to carve, and I really loved it already from young age. I remember when we came to Sweden just to visit before we moved there, we would carve a lot, sitting outside in the fire, and yeah, I remember that the most, that we would carve there with our dad, spoons and such things. And but I didn't get really into carving before I went to the Folkhögskola back at all, because there we had every Friday, when I went the first year, we had carving classes, but we would make things that you could use for textile crafts, right? Like a niddy-noddy. I made a niddy-noddy and a nostepin and drop spindles and a little loom for band weaving, and so I learned how to make all these things there, and that was what hooked me, like that yeah, I really wanted to continue to carve things that you could use for textile crafts, like to combine these two worlds. And I'm still doing it, and I'm still loving it. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, and I mainly use an axe for making the bigger work and then to chop away a lot of material, and then I use a normal carving knife, a Mora. My favorite knife is a Mora knife. It's a Swedish brand, but I think it's internationally seen really popular as well. It's not so expensive, and it's a great knife. So if you want to get into carving, look up Mora knives. I think they're available in different countries as well, and it's the perfect beginner's knife as well, I would say. So yes. Next question. Cultural differences between Sweden and Germany. Oh, yes, that is difficult. I think the people are quite different from Sweden and Germany. The Swedish people, anyway, I have lived for most of my time here in Sweden, are quite, they're more for themselves. They like to be with their families. You don't go out so much like in Germany, and you like to spend time with your family and you value that time, and it's really hard to get to know a Swede. I think it's maybe easier for the younger generation, but the older generation it's really hard to get really get to know them and to be included in the community. It takes a while to really feel that you're part of it, and yeah, they don't give, the Swedes don't give so much of themselves as so quickly as the Germans maybe do, and they don't. You have to be the one to ask questions and come to them. They won't come to you. And that's a little bit different in Germany. I think a good example is when I went to school in Germany. We had a lot of students from France because our school had a collaboration with a French Waldorf school, and they couldn't any German, right? So we would go to them and we would try to teach them and show them the city and show them the school and interact with them. And I had the expectation when we came to Sweden that would be the same in school for us, but it was quite the opposite. So basically almost nobody talked to us, and it was really hard to get to know the other students because they were really for themselves. They wouldn't let in new people that easily. There were a few that were kind and tried to talk to us, but it was still not like open arms and come, here new people, we want to include you and show you everything. And it was quite distance. It's always a distance there, and it's hard to break through that distance. And I already still can feel that after 12-13 years here now in Sweden. So that is the biggest thing, I think. That is between Germany and Sweden. And I don't know why it is, but Sweden is such a big country. I think it has twice the size of Germany, and we have like 9 million. Or is it 10 million now? People here in Sweden, and in Germany there's like 80 million. So you can imagine how there are not so many people here, right? So you can live on the countryside in a house, and your nearest neighbor lives like 5 or 10 kilometers away. So the far north you come, the more it's like this. And here in southern Sweden it's more, the people live closer to each other, of course, but it's much more silent and calm than in Germany. And you can feel that in the people, how the people are, I think. Here in Sweden we celebrate, for example, Midsummer's Eve, and we don't do that in Germany. In Germany you don't celebrate Midsummers. We celebrated it kind of at Waldorf. When I was younger, we would call it Johanni. That was the word. And we would make a big fire, and all would meet there and sing and have nice. That is quite similar. Here in Sweden, we rise Midsummer's like now a flag, but you take a pole and you dress it with flowers and birch leaves and so on, and you dance around it in white dresses, girls with flower bouquets in the hair, and sing, and it's good food, and it's a really big celebration here in Sweden, almost as big as like Christmas but without presents. And the funny thing is here in Sweden that you eat the same things at Christmas, at Easter, and Midsummer's Eve. So I think it's really strange. This kind of food, it's always like lots of potatoes and fish and egg, and it's always the same dishes, right? It differs a little bit from Midsummer's to Christmas, but otherwise it's the same, and I still don't get it actually. I'm still not that Swedish, so I can enjoy this food. Because it's food that you can eat once a year, and then you don't want to eat it for a whole year. But then there comes Easter, right, and then Midsummer's Eve, and then Christmas again, and it's the same food. I think it's really funny. And before I met Lucas, we didn't celebrate. We did celebrate Midsummer's Eve a little bit in our way with our family, but we had different foods, right, and Christmas as well. And then when I met Lucas and we celebrated with his family, it was the first time that I really saw that, okay, that's how Swedish people celebrate these festivities, and it's like the same food every time. I don't really get it. So sorry for all Swedish people watching. No offense, but it's too much. It's too much sausages and too much potatoes, and yeah, I'm tired of this food actually. So I'm happy that Lucas is not this traditional and really wants that food every time, every Christmas, every Midsummer's Eve, so we can switch it up and do our thing. So yes, I think I could talk an hour about different differences, but yeah, that's the things that where the culture that mostly shocked me a little bit when we came here, how different it would be. Drink a little bit of tea. Can I get to the last question? Can you tell a little bit about going to Waldorf school? So yes, so as I said, I went to Waldorf school 8 years in Germany, and then when we moved to Sweden, we hadn't a Waldorf school here where we moved, so I went to public school for 2 years, and after 9th grade here in Sweden you go to a gymnasium, to high school basically, but it's many gymnasiums in Sweden are oriented for different kinds of trades, but you can, for example, go to a gymnasium that is more into arts and crafts, and you can go to a gymnasium that has a program that is more fitted for if you want to become a doctor or a nurse, for example, then you have more science stuff. And yeah, there's a lot. You can go to more sporty gymnasium, there you learn lots of different sports, or only ice hockey, for example. I think there's a school for where you have your normal classes, but also ice hockey if you want to become a pro, or for football and soccer, and so this is really different from how the schools are in Germany. And I really missed to go to Waldorf school, so I moved to 2 hours away to a Waldorf school we had the programs, the nature program that is more science, and then like the more aesthetic programs, like different crafts and so on, and theater as well. So I went this program, And my sister, my twin sister, she went to a school that was oriented with like cooking, food and restaurant, hotel stuff on Öland. It is the little long island in southern Sweden. And yeah, we moved together in an apartment. That was really nice because we moved from home when I was 17, I think. Yeah. So that was a big step. But yes, so I went back to Waldorf school because I really missed it because of all the crafts you learn there. And in I think from first to 8th grade you don't get grading in a normal school. You don't the teacher just writes down, all the teachers in the end of the year, how you can improve, but you don't get a number or a letter like a A or a B. And I think that's really great because it does not put this kind of pressure on the children, and you can learn in your own pace, and that is really great. I think that you don't have this pressure on you. And in Germany we have a lot of Waldorf schools because it's from Germany, right? And the problem with that is that it's really popular and you can have really big classes. I think we were 30 children. That is almost too much for just one teacher. And then you have the pressure there anyway because it's too many students. And so in Sweden that was really nice because we were only like 12, 14 students or something. That was a lot better, I think. And yeah, I really love this kind of. Also, if you are a crafty person or a crafty child, then Waldorf school is perfect for you because you really can explore your creative side, and you don't have that chance at a public school in Germany at all. I think it's difficult anyway, and here in Sweden as well, sadly. But at Waldorf school it's different because you have really explored this side. And you have the chance to dive into it. We have a lot of, you do a lot of things with your hand, and I don't want to go too deep into Waldorf how do you say that word? Pedagogy? I don't know. You know what I mean. Hopefully. It's quite broad and you can read a lot about it. And I think in many aspects it's also old, a really old system that has to be like, the children today, they are different than before, I think. And this system, the Waldorf pedagogy, has been the same for like 100 years since it was grounded by Rudolf Steiner, and it hasn't changed a lot, and the children have changed. So I think it's not a perfect solution. It's not a perfect school system. It has its problems as well. It's too old for some things. You have to think new, think about the new generations, and that can be a problem, I think. But it's absolutely better than a normal public school. And yeah, because all of the crafts and that you do a lot of with your hands and combine, like thinking with we had in the Swedish school, I went to the Waldorf school, we had a saying that says genom handen, från handen till hjärtat till huvudet. So that means from the hand through the heart to the head. And I think that is really beautiful because that's so how I learned through my hands, and then it goes like up here because I don't learn so good when I just read in books. It doesn't work for me. So I really have to do it first with my hands, and then in Waldorf school you write your own school books basically. So the teacher just tells you stuff, and then you write notes, and afterwards you write your own school book basically, and you can add pictures as well. In the last 2 years I think we had a computer, so we could, if we wanted, to write on a computer as well, but I decided to write everything by hand. And at the end of the last year before graduating, I actually had inflammation in my wrist, because I had like 3 or 4 books to finish, and I was writing from morning to evening to finish them, and I wanted to do them really pretty, so I painted a lot of pictures as well. And I had at the end I couldn't hold a glass of water anymore because my hand was shaking so much. So you can do too much as I was, but it was a great 3 years for me there at a school in Sweden. It was a quite little school, not so many students, and that was nice. In Germany it was too much. I think we were over 300 or 400 students, so that's another problem. But I think that is everything I can say about Waldorf now. You can basically, I think in my 3 years in Sweden I tried out almost every craft there is, from blacksmithing to silversmithing, to work with clay or stone, or painting, textile crafts, wood carving. We tried a lot of things, and that was really, really cool to explore. I think that was everything. All the questions I have. I got one more this morning. What was that? I'd love to hear you talk about balancing being a mom and still knitting, crafting, or how has being mom changed your knitting, crafting? So yes, of course when you become a mom you don't have that much time anymore to do as much crafting as before. Before Saga I was doing a lot of carving, a lot more carving than now, because that really, you can't do it around children because you have all your tools, and that can be dangerous. So I have been doing a lot less carving than before Saga. But I think my knitting has almost been more, because that you can do more easily, even in the evenings, and you can carve when it's dark, it's hard. And I've had more inspiration to carve for her as well, and then the last couple of years I went more into designing as well. And I haven't sometimes, of course it's hard to find a time but since she has started daycare, it has also been easier for me to find time to knit and do other crafts. Of course it's hard sometimes to balance that, but I don't feel that I can do it a lot less than I did before. Maybe if I wouldn't have children now I would do a lot more, who knows, but I feel I can, and that I have time to knit, especially in the evening when she's sleeping. And we'll see how it changes now to become a mom of 2 children, because I have heard many saying that this is quite different from being a mom to 1 child. And we'll see how much time I have then. I really hope that I will have the time to still continue knitting and designing, maybe not as much as before, but I hope I find a good balance there, because it's really, I have so much inspiration right now, and I don't want to put it all aside. So yes, we'll see how life changes now. And I really love to be a mom and share my crafts with her. Now she's almost 3 and she's really wanting to learn how to knit. She's a little bit too small still to learn how to hold the knitting needles, but I think maybe in a year or so I can learn how to teach her how to crochet. Maybe that's a little bit easier, and I'm really looking forward to that, and that she's growing up with a mom that is a crafter, and she's because my mom always knitted when we were children, so I always saw that. I grew up with that, and I'm really happy that she is too and sees me do other things like carving as well. And my little nieces, they're a little bit bigger. They are really my oldest niece, she's 8 now. She's really into carving. Sometimes when I'm visiting, she wants me to teach her how to carve, and we sit together and carve together, and I gave her her first knife, and that is so beautiful to see how much enthusiasm they have and how much creativity, and how, and I'm really looking forward to go to see Saga and Wolf, and I hope that she will be a crafty person as well. I won't judge her if she's not, but because everybody is different, of course. And there are people that are not into crafts, and I have to accept that, but I really hope so. And I think so, what I've seen from her now, what she likes. So yeah, love that. I think that was everything. I will record a normal episode soon as well. I wanted to finish some projects before I showed them to you in a normal episode, so I thought I'm going to do this knit and chat, and let me know if you like this, so I can do it again once a month or so and talk about different topics. I thought maybe I can talk about unspun yarn someday, because I really love to knit with unspun yarn, and about different. Let me know if you have anything that you know that I should talk about. Maybe my designs as well. So that was that. I will sit here for a while and knit, because Lucas is outside with Saga, and have finally some time for myself. That is nice. And I hope you have a good time. I wish you happy knitting, and I see you soon. Bye.